What's up, guys? We are back. Fitness Profit Multiplier, Anthony and Jimmy. Today, we're going to be discussing how you can master the art of making the sale. Now, fitness sales is basically an art. It's an art form. We talk about this all the time here at Fitness Profit Multiplier because it's an art. There's a certain thing, and people always, this kind of always makes me laugh because people seem to think that the magic is in the script. And I thought that for such a long time. If only I dialed my script in. But in reality, the script is just a tool. That's why we don't even use it and call it a script here at Fitness Profit Multiplier. We call it a framework because a sale is a living thing. It's always moving. Every person you sit with is different. So you can never stick to a rigid sales script because it's just never going to work. So if you you take your time and you write out one of the best sales scripts that you can ever write out, chances are the person sitting on the other side of the table might not line up with those things that you're talking about. You know, you might have a script written for someone who wants to lose 20 pounds and the person comes in and they want to lose 40, or they want to gain muscle or whatever the story is. So in fitness sales, you have to be really, really flexible. So that's why we call it an art. And today we're going to be talking about how to master that art. But Jimmy, what's up, man? How you doing?
Doing great. I couldn't agree more. It's one of these things. Sorry if you hear my dog drinking water. So it's one of these things that mastering that process and making sure that everything's lined up to be a chameleon, right? When we talk about sales, you're really a chameleon, especially fitness sales, because it's not like you have one product that you're selling. You're not doing door-to-door solar. You're not doing pest control, right? Like all of these things are kind of the same. And even though we're offering the same type of service to all these individuals, they have to feel as if we are customizing it in a way to them, or that they are individual, they're unique, and they are special. Even though the widget is still the same for every individual. But in fitness sales, people are very much rooted to their identity and what it means for them to be unique. So like Anthony was saying, some people will come in, they want to gain muscle. They just want to feel like they're in less pain. They want more strength. They want to get off their medications. They want a healthier life. They want more confidence, right? They want to lose weight. And those all could be their goals, or maybe only one of them is their goal. So if you're talking to an individual that has bone density concerns and you talk to them about how they're going to lose weight in your program, it's a mismatch, even though we know that both of those things are going to happen. So you have to be able to chameleon yourself throughout the discovery component of the sale to really get through to what that individual is looking for.
Yeah, well said, man. It's so funny because a lot of people think that when it comes to sales training and sales and fitness, that it's all about the objections, right? Like, what's the objection? I got to learn how to overcome all these objections. But truth be told, the sale is never won or lost during the objection portion of it. Like, if you're getting objections, chances are the sale was lost way earlier on in your conversation. It was lost more in that discovery phase. So this is why it's so important to, again, like we said, have a framework. And the framework that we kind of use and you should use in fitness is obviously what are their goals? And then whatever they tell you with that answer, you have to keep digging and keep digging. What's the why? Okay, I want to lose 20 pounds. Why? Why do you want to lose 20 pounds? Why not 30 pounds? Why 20? Oh, because I felt good when I was this weight last time. Oh, what made you feel good about that when you were that weight last time? And you keep digging until you find out the underlying solution for what they actually want. Then once you find that out, let's say it's a woman, she wants to lose 20 pounds to fit in a dress for a high school reunion, right? So that's the goal. Now, whenever you're talking to her, that's what the most important thing is. And you have to insert that in everything. So what are they doing to get to their goals? And in this case, what are you doing to lose 20 pounds to get back into the dress for the high school reunion? What are you doing now? What's going on? What are you trying, right? And then you kind of go through this process of like figuring out what they're doing now, what they've done in the past, why it didn't work in the past, why what you have is going to be the thing that's going to help them to actually accomplish that. But again, if you have a strict script that you follow, there's going to be a lot of inconsistencies in what you're saying. Like Jimmy said too, you know, if you're talking about fat loss and this person wants to get, you know, bone density, like they said, maybe the doctor told them or whatever, there's a huge disconnect there. And the person's going to say, well, they're not listening to me. This salesperson's not listening to me at all. I don't know if this is the place for me.
And I want to belabor that point a little bit that Anthony just made. Not listening to me is the big thing, right? They need to feel like they're being heard and their goals are important to you, that their journey is important to you, and you're there to help them. So it's more about you actively listening to what they're saying and being able to repeat back to them why this mechanism that you use, your unique selling proposition, is going to help them achieve whatever the goal is that they have. So it's not about we do this, this is how we do it, we're the best. It's, Mrs. Jones, I totally hear where you're coming from. I totally understand what's going on with you. Why do you feel like this is important now? Why do you feel like this hasn't worked for you in the past? And on top of the questioning of the why, so you get to the point of the why it's important to them, then you dig deeper and you get to the why they haven't been successful. And the why they haven't been successful in the past is very important, because you can say till you're blue in the face that everybody that's out there looking for a fitness solution needs accountability, nutrition, and expert training, right? How many times have we heard this, right? Accountability, nutrition, fun workouts, accountability, nutrition, expert technique work, right? Everybody says the same thing. Like, the 3 pillars to fitness are these 3 things. You saying that and explaining that to an individual is very different than that individual saying it to you. So your goal is to get them to admit to you that they need help from their own words in their own way, not you saying, we're here to keep you accountable. It's not as powerful as them saying it, because when you say it, it's just in one ear, out the other. They glaze over. You just say it. They're like, yeah, I've heard this all over and over again. Getting them to speak about their specific struggles helps you to get across the buying line, because now they've admitted to the problem. So the discovery is huge. So when we look at discovery, like Anthony said, it's not a script. It's a framework that you chameleon around to fit that person's need. 1. 2, you dig deeper into their why. Then once you've dug deep enough into their why, you look at what they've done in the past, what they're doing now, and why they think it's not working for them. If you do this right, you can predict the answers they're going to give you. So, but you, in a structured fashion, you get to those answers and you get to those things and get them to say it. You get them to say, I need accountability. I don't know what to do. I'm not doing it on my own because I'm lazy and I need somebody to motivate me. And then you eventually get to, why is this important? Why now? What value does it bring? How do you imagine you would feel? And 9 times out of 10, if you ask these questions right, they say, I will have more energy at the other end of this once I do this, and I will have more confidence in myself. So if you get them to say, I need accountability, basically in some sort of way, and then get them to say, I'm going to be more confident and have more energy, 9 times out of 10, you get them to say those things and really convince themselves of it, you've closed the deal without having to deal with objections.
Yeah, one thing I'm going to touch on there really quick, you know, a lot of guys in fitness, and we have a lot of gyms that are on our sales calls that we do sales training with. And one of the things that a lot of people do is they try to repeat, like Jimmy said, like everybody knows it's all about the program. It's about the accountability. It's about this, it's about that. But remember, Mrs. Jones doesn't care what modality she's using to get in shape. And using my example before, you know, the 20 pounds to get into the dress for a high school reunion, right? She doesn't care how she gets there. All she wants is the result. So if you mention accountability, like Jimmy said, so let's say you heard this and you're going to say, okay, I'm going to say that next time I'm with somebody, and you say accountability, that might not even resonate with her. She might not even say like, oh, that's not what, that might not be what she needs, right? That's going to be what she gets. It's a byproduct of what happens. But to her, it's not about the accountability because she just doesn't know how to get there. She doesn't know that she's not following through on that. So for her, accountability is negligible. But if I talk to her about nutrition and she knows she needs help with nutrition, like she said, like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing diet wise. And now I talk to her about nutrition, the nutrition is going to walk me closer to closing the sale than talking about just accountability because I have it. Because the accountability to her is irrelevant. So you guys got to, and this is why mastering sales is an art. It's not just, okay, I follow the script and I close the deal. No, it's an art because you have to be able to hear what the people are saying and respond back with what they need. That's the key, is what they need. And that is going to be different for everybody. And this is the problem with fitness, is that the problem with fitness is there's so many different ways to skin a cat. So your competition, I talked about this before, your competition, Orange Theory, Peloton, keto diet, all these fad diets that are out there, carnivore, supplements, all these other things you're competing with. Ozempic, now it's a new one, right? You're competing with Ozempic, right? Those things are all your competition because there's so many different ways to get people in shape. And all these different ways are going to work, but you have to find the way that's going to resonate with what the person's saying to you. So if Mrs. Jones says, I can never do a low carb diet, and you start talking about how your program is all low carb, there's a disconnect there. You have to talk to her about how you're going to help her get into the best shape ever by monitoring her nutrition and all these other things. So that's what I'm saying. It's an art. This is an art. This is not something you slap together on paper, give it to your staff and say, okay, here, go make sales. It doesn't work like that. At least if you don't want a successful gym. If you want a mediocre gym where you have 50 to 70 clients and you're making about 20 grand a month, not in profit, just 20 grand a month top line, not including your rent, not including what you're paying everybody, then keep doing what you're doing. But if you want to grow and you're bringing to the point where you're bringing home $20,000 a month after all that stuff is paid for, then you need to learn how to master the art of sales.
Couldn't agree more.
All right, guys. And if you want help with any of that, if you want to jump on one of our sales call with us, just click the link below and book your diagnostics call with us. We can hop on the phone and see how we can help you. But until next time, Anthony and Jimmy, Fitness Profit Multiplier, we are out.